Yeah.
Here we are, seashells by the seashore. Smile, wave. Okay. We work our way down here. Let's bring the shovel over the other side. Yeah, that's good. Remember, as that estuary fills up, you get siltier and siltier, finer grain stuff toward the top of the fill of the estuary. And that's what we've got here.
And what kind of rock is that called?
Well, this would be a sandy siltstone. And you can see it there. It actually has some tilt to the layer because remember this is water in an estuary, so it's floating through.
Is that the way it was originally formed, or is that just
Yeah,
modern
that's the way
changes?
that's the way that this was deposited.
And you're not going to find as many critters in here because they find it hard to find the green.
Because it's so thick.
So thick. So you get clearer water out of the ocean. So that's one way you can tell what the ancient environment was, is what kind of animals and plants lived there, and similar to modern day.
So here's the sandstone. And where'd the shovel go? Okay. Why don't we dig this out as best you can?
Like right along here?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It gets hard fast. Okay, then go down below this lead. Go down here.
This is all.
Right.
You're not getting paid for that, you know.
That's all right.
You're learning.
Softer stuff, so just keep going until you hit the hard stuff.
And I'm hitting the hard stuff.
Okay, so again, this is, if you drill a hole here, the chips that come up out of the drilling,
It sparkles.
the mud and silt and alternating with these sands, and then as you work your way down toward the bottom of the hill, it's almost all sand. And the sand will be more or less cemented. So you can see where it was less and where it was more.
Just continuous layers like that.
Yeah.
So,
So, in your mind, get a picture. This was what that estuary feeding into the Outer Banks of North Carolina was like, and is like today, filling up with this kind of sediment.
I'm seeing a lot of little glitters in this
Yeah.
layer. What is that?
No, that is muscovite mica.
Muscovite mica.
Yeah, that's potassium, aluminum, silicate. Well, you know,
But it's in the other rock.
what's that quartz sand and feldspar and muscovite mica. And remember, we had somebody asked a question about the earthquake fault over here to the east. Well, when this was being deposited, the Precambrian rocks were up. There was land pretty close because we have a river deposit. So we were eroding, breaking down those granites in that ancient uplift and washing the debris into the estuary and building up that sand deposit, including these muscovite. Muscovite is common in funeral markers, any granite thing, you'll see it. It'll have that same sparkly look to it because it cleaves in one direction, like the layers, the pages of a book. So if you didn't know all this before, at least you... And with the porosity and permeability of this deposit changing through the column, you can have groundwater move through some of this if it's porous and permeable. It'll pick up dissolved minerals from breakdown of biotite mica, that's the iron-rich form, and other minerals with iron in it. That'll come out in the groundwater, and it'll form these harder, more rusty-looking sandstones. So the best time to come in here is when the county comes in and cleans out these ditches from time to time.
Do they?
Well, yeah, I've seen it. You know, it wasn't quite like, you know, it was more slumped down here.
Not very long ago, they kind of graded this.
Yeah.
I know they grade the road, but I didn't know they did anything.
Yeah, they
So
went
they-
farther out.
Did they blast this to make this road? Is that how we see that? Or
Yeah, this is a road cut. Yeah,
They-
county came in here and blasted this out.
Oh, I think a farmer did it way back in the early 1900s.
Yeah, well, but, you
He
know, I
wanted
mean,
the road,
it's,
so he made it.
Was that how the rocks disappeared?
don't know. Have to ask anybody who's still alive.
See, it could
take
have been the
those rocks?
first Wizzo. It could have been, but he dynamited it so it didn't fall on his
Well, everybody get an idea of how we
Yeah.
build up the geologic story of what went on here.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you know.
And if we
So,
carved our name in there
What
today, it
age
wouldn't
would
be
it
there.
be from the bottom of the hill to the top? How many years are we looking at?
Don't know.
Fair enough.
in the paper, I think it said that there was something coming up Goat Hill that looks like a rock, but it was a plant, and it's, anybody remember that? You mentioned it today, but it's not a word for it.
Crinoid.
Yes.
Crinoid. Looks like
Crinoid?
Are there animals?
Are there any here? I mean,
No, they wouldn't be in the sand. They'd be up in what we looked at up here top.
At the ocean bed.
Yeah. They lived in the ocean, and you saw what was in that cut section. It was all churned up stuff. That'd be a beach deposit because you know, it's all cleaned out, and so for crinoids, if you want really good crinoids, you don't want beach. You want offshore where the water is more gentle.
The early settlers used to talk about picking up Indian beads, and sometimes I wonder if they were actually from those.
Well, some of them were Indian beads, and some of them were crinoid. You know, there were places that used crinoid segments as money. You know, you could. It's kind of the natives' Bitcoin.
Yeah. Or you could strain them.
Like a wooden nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the central part is open, you could string them and make a necklace and have a lot of wampum.
So did I see you bring a magnet down here?
no, with a hand blade.
And take a magnet. There's magnetite that's iron oxide, Fe3O4. It's strongly magnetic, and the magnet will grab right onto it.
Maybe out by Kirkman's Cove.
Well,
Because they do
anywhere. See, you kids, there's a science camp every other year. Next one will be 2024 at Imperial. Chase County Schools runs a science camp for 1st through 6th graders.
Nice.
And we were out at Champion Lake, Southwest, working with those kids toward the end of June. And I gave them magnets, and they'd go out and sit in the gravel and run the magnet around and pull up. Well, there's magnetite all over the state, every sand deposit got magnetite in it.
I don't think she wanted to go to Imperial.
Well, Imperial's very nice.
I've been there, yeah.
The the whole community works on this camp.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been going since 1989.
Bet you've licked a lot of rocks in your day.
Yeah, well, you know, and just like the perks on the chain gang, I break rocks for a living.
What is it?
What is it? It's a rock.
He just found it on the side here.
What type of rock?
There, now we're getting to it. Well, let me see. Take these off. They don't have. Put them in there. Well, I think what you have is a bit of a concretion, and this actually looks to me to be some kind of piece of fossil plant.
Oh, concretion with fossil plant in it. Let's see it. Cool.
I found a yellow one. Cool. Here, Mom, put this in the pocket.
Yep, put it in my pocket.
Oh, that's a sandstone.
Oh, sandstone, kid.